Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good afternoon, guys. How are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Got finished with my business stuff early, about a half hour ago. Was up. What did we get up earlier in the morning to start taking care of some business stuff that we needed to take care of, and got that done. Really excited about where that is going. But guys, I heard about this news yesterday, and I wanted to share with you this madness, okay? The madness that is Ripple, and more importantly, Xpring. So it's Ripple's Xpring. And guys, I got to tell you, I cannot. And I'm hopefully this is not too loud. I got a comment from someone yesterday that said they couldn't hear me, so I turned the volume up, and I'm speaking a little louder. So hopefully you guys can hear me. But guys, I got to tell you that I don't know. I could not be more excited about where we are with the greatest digital asset ever created, and that is XRP. And I want you guys to just think about this as I begin to talk about further about this video. But I want you to think about something that I saw on the Ripple Insights page, and it's been posted probably several times as well. It did, in fact, say that Ripple's goal, their goal, right? We have goals. Sometimes we hit goals, sometimes we fall short on goals. But nonetheless, this is a goal of the company Ripple, and it is to become the world's global reserve currency. Now, that was their goal. That is their goal. You get that? That's their goal. So I just want you to think about all the different use cases. Whenever I get on Twitter, which is not very often, I will always hashtag, whenever I mention anything about XRP, I will always hashtag real use case. And so here we come. The genius to even start Xpring, again, just another brilliant move. Or I keep saying Xpring, it's just called Spring, I guess, right? Just called Spring. Is just brilliant. And so here they go again. Ripple's Spring looks to build XRP DeFi, which is decentralized finance products, with new acquisition, right? Key word there is an acquisition. It's not a partnership, it's an acquisition. And it's funny because I remember Brad saying there was going to be some big news about, some recent moves. And I think this is one of those, quite honestly. This new acquisition is with a startup called Logos Network. But I want you to think of, guys, I really want you to think about what Ripple is doing in growing the XRP ecosystem, because I really do think that it speaks volumes to their ultimate goal, which is becoming the world's global reserve currency. And I was just thinking about this earlier, and I was thinking about with all the financial markets that we have, whatever that is, if it's a derivative, it's a derivative. If it's a credit, it's a credit. If it's stock, it's stock. If it's gold, it's gold. If whatever market you want to look at, whatever you want to call it. If it's the FS market, it's the FX market. But in the end, the majority of the currency that is used worldwide in the financial markets is what? It's the world's, I know there are several world currencies, but the vast majority of that is the US dollar, the world's global reserve currency. And then there's all these other things that are used and moved, right? And like, here's the thing, right? So when the vast majority of people, when they go to buy gold, they use the fiat dollar. The vast majority of people, when they go do trading and they cash out, they look to cash out in the US dollar. Because one of the reasons is because it's the world's global reserve currency. And I really believe that this is just another step in Ripple's plan to become the world's, for XRP to become the world's global reserve currency. This is a huge market, this decentralized finance market. It's a huge one. And I want you to think about two other things. I want you to think about Securitize as well, another thing that Spring has invested in, and also Dharma, another thing that's credit, another financial market that Spring has invested in. And it, again, for me, it's all about that end goal, and has always been that way. And I just think when it's all said and done, when that switch is turned on, all the rails are laid, if you will, it's going to point to why not have this thing that is XRP become the world's reserve currency. But I just want you to think about this acquisition for a while. So here it is. Ripple has made its first move towards building. It's not its first move towards building decentralized finance products based on XRP. With this acquisition of decentralized payments platform Logos Network, Ripple's investment arm Xpring will add 9 New York-based engineers. Logos founder and CEO Michael Zakowski will become Xpring's head of DeFi products. Xpring did not disclose the price of the deal. Before joining Xpring, Logos was working to build a payments network inspired by the Bitcoin blockchain with a focus on scalable, rapid networks that still maintains high level of security. And this whole thing sounds like to me, and I'll tell you that after I read this. Before joining high level security, I read that. The Logos acquihires will now help Ripple build XRP derivatives, XRP loans, XRP futures, and XRP forwards. I have no idea what XRP forwards are. If you're smart enough to know what that is, please comment in this video so we can all learn, said Ethan Beard, Senior Vice President of Xpring. Senior Vice President. We're still at the early stage of figuring this out, Beard said, adding, We've made investments in decentralized finance companies in the past. We invested in Securitize and Dharma. They didn't acquire them. They invested in them. But it's now an area where we're building. Part of Xpring's focus is to identify use cases outside of the company's payments network, right, RippleNet, to build a network of companies around XRP. So far, the company has committed $500 million to 20 companies, including both equity investments and XRP grants, like the $265 million deal brokered with content platform Coil. Listen to this one. This is important. With the Logos acquisition, Xpring now has a team of 32 employees. And that's an important thing that I just want you to kind of get. Right? So they're going from 2 employees to 32 employees at Xpring. So they're growing their investment arm with people working to expand the use cases around XRP. Beard hopes the same financial institutions that take advantage of RippleNet, we all know who the financial institutions are that take advantage of RippleNet to achieve real-time payments and real-time fiat settlements, will be interested in XRP-based DeFi products. You get that ecosystem? So these banks and these financial institutions and these SMEs that are involved in the real-time payments are also going to be involved in what? Derivatives, loans, futures, and forwards. But more importantly, XRP derivatives, loans, futures, and forwards. Guys, get that? That is huge in a lot of ways. Never mind the investment that they made in Securitize, which deals with securities, the security token offerings, and Dharma that deals in credit. You get it? It's an XRP ecosystem. And of course, there's going to be incentives for quote-unquote financial institutions to take advantage of these new XRP-based decentralized finance products. That is the game plan. And I think every time you turn around, you heard it said, every time you turn over a rock, there is XRP. It's like Ripple has XRP in the cookie jars, all these different cookie jars. Every time you turn around, there's a cookie jar and it has XRP in it. It has XRP in it. And so this ecosystem, guys, to me, is going to be huge in so many different ways. And so I know you guys know a little bit about Securitize. I just want to show you something. I pull up this article here from CoinDesk. This is Securitize's website, right? Think about this. The platform from the issuance and management of digital securities. We deliver trusted global solutions for creating compliant digital securities like equities, funds, fixed income, and real estate, to name a few. liquidity, add value of instant settlement and fractional ownership in these securities. But this news is massive right here. CoinDesk token tech firm Securitize raises $14 million from Santander and MUFG, both of which are Ripple partners, both of which are on the Ripple net, right? You see how it's a whole ecosystem that is being developed. And to say that this is massive is really, let me see, where is it? Right, so token tech firm Securitize raises $14 million from Santander and MUFG Bank, which I believe is a Japanese bank. And it talks about the investments people here. So $14 million. Securitize announced a press release Tuesday that the funding is a Series A round by Santander and MUFG and Nomura Holdings, $14 million. And what I like about it is just, you know, these are partners, these are people in on the Ripple net, right? So they're part of the Ripple net ecosystem, and that's huge in a lot of ways, guys. And so Securitize, you definitely want to get to that and learn a little bit more about what they're doing. Just know that what we're doing, and by we, I mean Ripple, is just growing the ecosystem to have all things around XRP. And what this is going to do is it's going to satisfy the end goal, and that is to become the world reserve currency. In my humble opinion, and I know for a fact that's their goal, but that's my opinion. That's what it is. This is what this is all about. And Dharma is just another example of doing that. It says here at Ripple, this is from February of 2019, I believe. February 5th, 2019. At Ripple, we made a very deliberate decision early on to focus on our solutions on a single problem, use case, and customer. The thesis was that focus would increase our team's chances of being the best at solving that problem and thereby gain real-world traction. Our belief is that crypto can be applied to transfer global payments, and our conviction about crypto's potential impact in financial services more broadly has only grown in sometimes surprising and non-linear ways. One thing we have learned is that liquidity is the lifeblood of financial products. As an example, in payments, a liquid market between the dollar and Mexican peso enables more efficient remittances. So I don't want to read that there. You guys know about all those different things there. For these reasons, we believe crypto wins at solving liquidity and ultimately will fundamentally transform finance. And in the end, guys, I always say if we know that XRP can help to solve the world's global economic crisis, which is illiquidity, if we know that, the powers that be know that. If we know that, the people in Trump's office know that. If we know that, the people in China know that. If we know that, the people in Russia know that. If we know that, the people in Japan and the powers that be know that. That's the bottom line. So a primary enabler of liquidity in financial markets is credit, right? So I want you to think about that. This is Xpring, which is an investment arm from Ripple, talking about the financial markets and credit. Get that? So it's not just about cross-border payments. That was the doorway, right? That was the doorway to to bigger opportunities. It is a core primitive that allows people a core, like foundational. Like I have, well, anyway, I won't tell you that. But it is a core primitive that allows people, businesses, and eventually software to create and provide liquidity where it is most needed. Because they know, the people from Ripple know, and the smart people know that major money is going to want a credit line. Major money is going to want credit in the financial markets because that's the way they operate today. That's how it is, right? So businesses and eventually software to create and provide liquidity where it is most needed, and as a result, drives the trillions of dollars in volume in the global capital market. The most liquid capital market products, such as foreign exchange, FX, are built on the back of credit and leverage. Over the past decade, we have witnessed cryptocurrencies change the way we think about storing and exchanging value, and we are now beginning to see how the characteristics that make crypto so powerful, which is the open network, open access, and protocols, minimize trust, instant settlement, can be extended into the far larger and impactful world of credit. We are excited to be backing the Dharma team, who are central in progressing this vision. Dharma's development has patterns we recognize, including work on a protocol infrastructure layer that coordinates peer-to-peer credit interaction through a network of relayers, and the recently announced Lever as a solution to package and deliver this liquidity to a target customer, and use case. The target customer, in my humble opinion, initially will be financial institutions, big ones, big financial institutions. We are strong believers in the team and their approach. Their work to solve problems for crypto capital markets with margin lending is well positioned to bootstrap the reshaping of the credit markets. Again, I've always said it, and I just believe it 100%. If you would just listen to what Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, the people from Ripple, when they're doing their little I forget the videos, what those videos that they call it. They do drops when they're doing those Ripple drop videos. If you would just listen, when they do something on Medium, just pay attention to the words that they're saying, that they're using, because they're telling us everything. We just have to pay attention. They're telling us everything that they can tell us. We just have to listen. It's not going to be bold in your face with a sign. Here's what they're doing. But if you just listen to the words, if you listen to the message behind the words, it's phenomenal. We are excited to support the Dharma team and invest alongside Green Visor Capital, who have a uniquely informed perspective. Again, why are they mentioning that? Why are they mentioning it? Just got to read into it a little bit. Informed perspective on the evolution of fintech. Our conviction is that Dharma's innovation in the credit markets will ultimately have a tremendous impact on how the world accesses liquidity, resulting in entirely new forms of financial solutions not previously possible, guys. That is such a huge statement, guys. I hope you have a chance to read it. If you haven't read it, go check that out. Let me tell a little bit about this Logos Network. This is the listen, their website, right? You could tell, right? Very new team, logos.network. This is their white paper, and I'm not smart enough to understand everything on here, but this really feels like, and please, you guys that are smart that know these different things, please let me know. But this feels like this is now because we acquired them. Okay, it feels like, I don't know if I want to say Kava or if I want to say Cosmos. I'm not sure which one this feels more like. But what it does seem like to me is that it is Ripples, because it's Spring and Spring is Ripple's investment arm. It feels like it's now their own version of Kava. That's what it like. If that makes sense to you, that's what it feels like. We know that Kava is going to be getting into collateralized debt positions and CDPs and being able to, right, but it feels like it's Ripple Logos Network now acquiring them. It's like having their own version of Kava. I don't know if it's their own version of Cosmos or not, because Cosmos is really about interoperability amongst protocols and networks, right? Connecting them. So, but this is what it feels like to me, like their own version of Kava, if you will. And so if they have Kava in whatever way, shape, or form that they invested in Kava, now this is, to me, Logos Network is like their own version of that. That's what it feels like to me. But this Logos Network is, they're really looking to do some amazing things. They're talking about 100,000 potentially, eventually, We project a theoretical capacity in excess of 100,000 transactions per second under reasonable network assumptions. And so that's what it feels like to me. If you guys can liken it to something else, I would love to hear that in the comments. What would you compare this Logos network to? But it says here, a highly scalable, decentralized transaction system. Very, very powerful. But they're bringing them over into the DeFi space. So maybe the Logos Network had an initial aim, an initial goal to something. And Xpring and Ripple found out about this particular company, what they're looking to do, and said, hey, you know what? Get it. I get what you're looking to do. Let's kind of park that. Let's kind of take your genius and focus in on this. Take what you know about what you've been doing initially, put it in this space, narrow it down to a space. And it's this DeFi space, right? Derivatives, loans, futures, and forwards, quote unquote, and let's harness in on that and then look to expand that. And so it's a brilliant acquisition, I think. And again, to me, it speaks to Ripple's end goal. In my opinion, it speaks to Ripple's end goal, which is to become the world's global reserve currency. I mean, again, sometimes you fall short of goals, sometimes you hit the goals. I just know for a fact that is one of their goals at the company, that is at the behemoth that is Ripple. So guys, listen, I'm going to wrap this video up. I just wanted to hit this real quick. I know a couple of people have kind of done their videos on it as well, but I wanted to kind of give my version and where I see what's going on with this acquisition, because I think it's major in a lot of ways. Now I got to hop off here because I got to go listen to my boy Brad Kimes. I got to listen to his video that he did the other day with Cryptopolis, because I'm going to take, because he was talking about kind of the state, the reality of the state of the economy, especially in the U.S. And I want to do that because I do a lot of business stuff. I'm going to take a lot of those tidbits and put it into one of my presentations that I do outside of the digital asset space. So I got to go check that out, take some notes. And between him and Cryptopolis, I can just snatch some of that stuff up and put it in my not only in my training but in my business presentation as well. So guys, listen, never ever forget this, okay? Never ever forget that old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.